The parking lot back there, all conspicuous. Maybe he had some engine problems, who knows. Anyway, I'm gonna roll me a cigarette. Gentleman gave me a piece of hash tonight. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with it. I'm a lightweight. That should knock me the fuck out. Where the hell did I put it? I'll use my damn phone. A lot of people don't quite understand the abuse or how much I go through, or how horrible it really is. Being talked to like I'm a dog or an idiot. Now, there are a lot of people who are starting to get to understand I'm not after hurting anybody, but people often hurt me, and I get talked over. I hope whatever they're doing back there, it's not involving any rights being violated or people being bullied or shot or anything like that. Of course, I don't carry any firearms. Those are absolutely unnecessary, at least in my situation for now. Alright, let's see. What are we after tonight? Yes, we were talking about how stupid it is to make shit that blows up. Right? You know, there's a lot of stuff. I don't know, I guess if I show you all the gory shit, you guys would definitely not be happy about it. So I make sure I don't show the real gory shit. But you gotta understand, every time you guys talk about doing all that mean stuff, like all that hateful stuff, all that violent stuff, you don't stop to consider that that really, really, really gets to me. And the more people do it, like, hey, we've got a legal justice system for a reason, but if nobody ever tries to utilize it, it's never gonna work. Now, the guy on here who I show that makes a lot of his own rockets, he's not ever going to try them at full charge. He makes them like a quarter of the amount that would go in them, or a third the amount. He makes them out of really high quality materials. And even he's had some like mishaps that, oh, I don't want nothing to do with that shit. And then there's pictures of people that made hand grenades and blew their hand off. And then there's a lot of real nasty ones of people's feet stepping on landmines. Because like I said, you know, I'm not willing to kill people, but I'm surely willing to disarm some landmines or throw smoke grenades. A smoke grenade's different, though. That's not something that's blowing up. That's something that's meant to screen people so they can get away. Might start to get some charge on this. I did start putting together a lot of the stuff that goes into my go bag. So I'll probably make a video on that. It's got my fishing string, or my fishing hooks, times 6. It's got the remainder of my wrap. When I got my hand lit on fire up there in the mountains, I wasn't even able to. Well, I really couldn't tolerate the pain until I wrapped it. Once I wrapped it, it started feeling a little bit better. But I couldn't find my triple antibiotic ointment. I do have a first aid kit that was given to me by one of the ladies here, which is really super cool. So I just got to find that. Also, I got a new wrap for myself. It was hot pink. One of the things I suppose I could probably show you about all my crap. I try to get stuff that's brightly colored and neon. Like, for example, this has got it's a whistle. And it's got a yellow lanyard on it. I got what do you call that? A flare marker in here. And then I have the ones for the boat, of course, the aerial flare, and then I have the ones for the road as well. I don't know why they sell them in packs of 3 when you need 6 of them. This thing right here is like it's a signal mirror, but it's also a survival mirror, so it's covered, and it's got a bright lanyard. And then I got 2 different types of matches. Strike-on box matches and the strike anywhere matches. Also, I do keep a couple of full flame torches in them. It used to be just a regular Bic because they were cheap, but they were better than the El Cheapo lighters, which, well, from time to time they just fall enough. Usually either the flicker part break off where the spring is, or the spring holder when you've got the flint, and when they break off they just fly out. So I always want to make sure that if I'm going to carry something, it's going to take up some space in my inventory. You know, I really want it to be something that is going to work. I usually take some duct tape, probably about 5 or 6 feet worth of it. And then, of course, I prefer pink. Pink's like my favorite color. But it's important to have blaze orange just about everything, or neon orange just about everything. That way, if you have to spell something out with it, you don't have a color that kind of sticks in with the natural terrain, or you don't have a color that is so incredibly bright that it takes away from your ability to see anything but that one color. Yellow is usually the best color to make signals with, but that ain't always the way it goes, is it? The blaze orange thing, we say that because of the hunting season and because it really does stick out like a sore thumb. Also because there's a lot of stuff in nature that can be yellow or yellowish green, depending on the time of year. You're not likely to find anything that's in nature that's actually blaze orange. I got tea candles, and these totally rock. You can actually take a tea candle, and you can use the base that it's on as a stove. I didn't know that until recently. I also usually put a pair of fingernail clippers in there. You never know when you're going to have to clean out underneath your nails. You never know when you're going to have to clip something. I prefer to have scissors, so I take scissors and fingernail clippers. I also have water purification tablets. They're, I don't know, let me see. I might be able to show them. I had to pull everything out one-handed, so everything ended up all over my back seat. So I had to pull everything out. It's got condoms in it, which is like the only place I have condoms. I have them there, and then I have them in my emergency kit, my other one. It's mostly a bunch of pieces of wood in it currently. I don't have an emergency blanket. I was going to get one the last time I was at Walmart, but I completely forgot about it. I went and saw the ones they have in there for $14.99. It's an emergency blanket / tent, and I went, well, that kind of looks like a big trash bag, and that's about it. Didn't look like it had foil anything. Let's see. We also got, of course, like I said, the shoestrings, or not shoestrings, but the fishing line, of course, blaze orange as well. It's important to have different types of signaling devices. You might be in an area or a region where there's a potential for fire damage or a potential for explosion issues. Maybe you live in Southern California and it's the middle of the summer and lighting a road flare is a really bad idea. Maybe it's nighttime, you don't know how long it's going to be until you're able to see somebody, so you really need something that's just gonna keep glowing. Like, for example, if you have to trek it out of a campsite where you're stuck, you have to try to trek out at night. You can't find the trail, but you can kind of sort of see east. You can use those little cracky glow sticks that they sell around Halloween time. Most of those only last about 2 hours, but they have the emergency ones at the Army store that last around 6, and some of them last up to 8. One gentleman told me that if you only crack half of it, then it's going to be bright enough to use as a signal, and you can crack the other half later, but I tried that and it didn't work. Like, I cracked one of them, and then about half an hour later I cracked the other half, and that did work. But I also had one that I cracked, and then I cracked the other half of it the next day, and it didn't. So it only works for a little bit of time after it's activated, I guess. a lot of people, as in nearly all the people that wanted to be what they consider supportive, all their ideas were violent. Well, not literally. Not literally all of their ideas, just the majority of them, especially to begin with. You know, the whole saying that they would hurt somebody for messing with me. I don't want them hurt. I want them to stop. I want them to know the truth. So they don't always hold that hatred and disdain for no fucking reason. Other than they heard a damn rumor. When it comes to protecting our friends and family, how many of us have friends and family who actually care about us? And how many of us actually care about our friends and family? You can't make your family love you, can you? And they can't make you love them. I did find out tonight that if you're not 18 years of age, you're not supposed to have a pepper spray in this state, but you are allowed to have a taser, which is backwards. But if them's the rules, them's the rules. I don't know if it's the safe way rules or the law, but I'll look it up. Because, of course, I want to make sure that I follow the rules to the best of my ability and also follow the laws to the best of my ability. But it's tough to know every law, isn't it? Of course it is. Looking stuff up is important. Now, protecting ourselves from bad law enforcement, that's also important. We've all known officers who had some sort of something against a friend, a relative, a loved one, or possibly in your favor, somebody that you don't like. Sometimes that does work out in your favor. And I made sure I don't have too much paracord here. And it's not real like military paracord. This is like the off-brand that you get at the dollar store. I have a full spool in bright orange. I also have some in, what do you call that? There's a name for the type of braid, or the type of braid pattern. But it's basically green and brown with a little bit of tan in it, like a tiny bit of tan. And then, of course, I got a bright orange bit of it too. It's supposed to be like 100 foot worth, and you get to see it's bright orange. Very bright orange. Also, I do have one of these that's in bright orange as well. I just can't find it. This one is not the one that goes in my kit. This is a hot pink one. What goes in my kit is blaze orange, but I can't find it currently because I was using it for lighting my cigarettes. It's probably in between the seats somewhere. Anytime I see the police, of course my rear iris puckers up because there's some heartless some bitches here. There's a video on here that I posted today. It's December 25th. I got a bill I have to pay by the 28th of every month, so I gotta go pay that within the next couple of days, so I gotta spend tomorrow panhandling the whole day. And of course, as soon as I have 20 something bucks, I gotta go down and pay that bill. Hopefully somebody go in with me, just in case of some excess and crazy bullshit. Although it's a different office than the one that I've been having the majority of the issues with. And as long as I'm paying them money, they're pretty nice to me. Oh, that's only half a roll on paper. Oh, there's some. One of the gentlemen who works at Safeway gave me some tobacco. Another gentleman gave me some papers. So, at least I don't have to beg for cancer, right? Anyway, we've all dealt with corruption. We all know corrupt people. We all know corrupt politicians of some sort on our local level. Of course, my goal is always to try to protect those in my community. It doesn't always work. Most of the time it does, though. I'm pretty good at letting people know that I'm there when they're trying to do harmful stuff to others. When they're assaulting people and threatening people's lives and pointing weapons at each other. Yeah, I'm kind of stupid. I do put myself in harm's way pretty often over people who, well, they may deserve to be protected and they may not. It all depends on your personal opinions, I suppose, right? How many of you believe that I'm wrong because I won't go hurting those kids? How many of y'all think that I'm in the wrong because I won't physically assault them, because I over my knee, because I won't taser them when they're doing that shit? And some of y'all, what about Wolnez? He's an adult, isn't he? By the way, I'm sorry I'm squeaking. I did a lot of shouting. When it comes to the corruption of police nationwide, this is no joke. These people really are this bad. When you allow innocent people to be harmed over and over and over again, you don't get to pretend that you care about them. That's mean. Now, of course, I'm going to make as loud a noise as I can, and I say those mean things back, don't I? Of course I do. I get told, oh, well, it's okay for people to say stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I suppose it is. Let's see what happens if I say that shit. We should probably get back to either me watch something about the Tank Museum, or we get back to learning about explosives. That's always fun, isn't it? Of course, I kind of think that it loses some of the importance of it when the whole goal of the exercise is to try to talk you out of doing stupid shit. Like, yeah, it sounds cool, I understand. I've watched movies before too and been like, man, Rambo. I grew up in the 1980s, 1990s. Became an adult 1998. Well, actually, in Nebraska, they don't consider you an adult until you're 19. But they told me they couldn't emancipate me when I was 17. And then when I was 18, they emancipated me so that they could charge me as an adult for disturbing the peace. Yeah, I was a hardened criminal. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what, sir. A lot of people tell me I shouldn't make jokes like that. Well, somebody got to. Yeah, I cry about shit. And yeah, I know it's unmanly. But I don't get embarrassed. If I feel like crying, that's what I'm gonna do. Now let's make sure we don't kill the camera here. Those of you who have been following, you hopefully have seen the Myanmar video and gotten to hear about those guys and their homemade weapons. How many, well, for those people, they talk about family members that they lost. One of the tubes that they used for making an RPG 2 in Myanmar, I was looking at it and I went, holy shit, that's a bad fucking idea. And then they showed it exploded and I went, well, holy shit, that's a bad fucking idea too. Here's the thing, I have the same exact kind of pipe. And although it could potentially be used for such a purpose, the fact is, after you have done enough work to make it quasi, I don't even want to use the word safe, slightly less unsafe, you could have literally bought a stainless steel tube, custom made, custom cut to length. You could have gotten it just a little bit thicker and seamless. And that's the thing about it, is that you want seamless telescoping pipe to do that. preferably 5 millimeters thick on each side, and I know that'll make it a lot heavier than the originals, but damn, you don't have the proper metallurgical stuff to do it right. The kind of tubing I have in the back of my car, if I tried to make an RPG-2 with that, you know what would happen? It would blow up in my face. I try to pull out the videos that talk the most about the safety issues, about what could potentially happen. Back in Nebraska, gun cotton's real common. Not the gun cotton itself, but people talking about it and being interested in it and being in love with it. And of course, they don't stop to realize that some of their ideas that they're having, they've been tried before. Of course, we had the spew rounds, special purpose. Fuck, I can't remember. It was a way for the common infantrymen to try to get a quicker second shot or third shot, or to basically shoot out a bunch of flechettes or a bunch of flechettes with a round, and basically we threw it away because it was trash. Then we went to some later iterations, some sabot launch stuff that would separate, and oh man, we did all sorts of stuff that was just nonsense. Now the French were able to make a rifle that would fire either 2 or 3 rounds before the bolt had actually gone all the way to the rear. Not the bolt itself, but the bolt carrier. Basically, it's a reciprocal thing, and it makes it so that it literally fires 2 or 3 rounds before you actually feel the recoil, before the bolt carrier reaches the rear end of the trunnion. It also helps to vent off some of the gases so you don't feel all 3 recoils at once, because that would fucking suck. And I guess there's a variant to the Bison submachine gun now that does the same thing with 9mm, which is pretty cool, you know. I mean, like I said, I love the mechanics of it. I love the dynamics of the way the things work, but I love the dynamics of the way a lot of things work. I like tanks. I like the Jeep. I like old lawnmowers. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I just really enjoy learning how it's made, learning how it works. One of my favorite TV shows growing up was How It Works on the History Channel. One of my favorite books growing up was The Way It Works. It's getting pretty chilly out tonight already, so I'm not expecting it to be too warm of a night. Because of a lot of the victimization that I've had to endure, I'm probably going to pull up a little closer because the hell is that? Well, I guess since I'm going to park closer to the entrance, I should probably go park closer to the entrance. Maybe I'll see what the source of that sound was. I do have a slingshot that I can put in my emergency go bag, and I probably will. But I currently have 3 of them in my car. I'm trying to decide if I want to put the small one in there or if I want to put the good one in there. I'll probably put the good one in there, even though it's a lot bigger, a lot stockier. If I'm going to have a slingshot to get me some dinner, I want it to be good quality, and I want to know that I'm definitely increasing my chances of not having to take a second shot in order to hit the thing. Because if you hit it with the first shot, you might get it at standstill. And in a survival situation, that's most likely how you're going to want to try to get it anyway. You want to conserve ammo. But I'm not going to carry any ammo because anywhere I'll be able to use it, I'll be able to pick up pebbles. And of course, if you practice with just pebbles instead of the same rocks every single time, like for example, they got the steel shots and the glass shots. It's literally just marbles. And they work really well. The glass marbles, they tend to shatter if you hit something. If you hit something hard, you can even, if you don't hit the rabbit right in the right place, I guess from what I've been told, I've never actually hunted a rabbit with the glass things in a slingshot. Also, there's a clip-on thing that I designed. I actually designed it before Natalie was killed. I was trying to make kits for them. I bought a whole bunch of bright orange nylon paracord like that, like the emergency stuff that I have, and I got some beads. And I also made a stick that the stick just attaches to a lanyard around your wrist, and that way there's also another variant that was you just slide 2 fingers into it. But basically, it's so that you can have a thumb pull trigger on a bow, like a bow and arrow. But you could also do that with a slingshot so you can fire arrows out of it. But I don't have very strong arrow, what do you call it? My bands, the rubber bands, are just the ones that originally come on it, so they're not like super powerful. It's just the regular ones. I also have a whole bag here of tampons and maxi pads for just in case. You never know when you're going to have a severe bleed that you need to stuff. It's not recommended to stuff things into your body like that with an open wound. But one of the ideas behind it is that the plastic around the outside, if it's a gaping wound and it's pretty large, you can use the plastic to try to create a seal, and then the tampon on the inside, once it gets a little bit of blood in it, it's going to want to cover itself up and seal itself up. But you do need to remember to change it. But they're also useful for collecting water. That's something you might not think of. You can take a tampon and you take it out of the applicator and you put it in a sock. Like he was talking about doing, where you tie a sock around your ankle. But you can suck up a lot more water if you have a tampon. Plus, they're cotton and they're supposedly sterile. Anyway, I'm gonna get closer to the store, get myself another banana because they're delicious. Use the restroom because I gotta pee. Seems to me whatever the issue was is now over. I showed you some of the stuff in my emergency kit. I'll probably... Well, I do want to tell you something about sling bows. If you make a sling bow for your slingshot, you make a sling bow attachment, don't change the back end of it to one of the arrow nocks like you would with a regular arrow. Just use the regular pouch. A lot of them, they have either one tiny hole in the center or 6 or 7 small holes around the center point, and that'll help you to line up your arrow into the slot. It's actually a lot easier to do it that way, especially once you've pulled it a few times, because it starts to make a little bit of a pocket. You can also make your own pocket by taking something that's pretty large, something like maybe the back end of a CO2 cartridge, and you get the leather wet, and then you try to stretch it and you wiggle it back and forth over the back end of the CO2 cartridge, and then you rubber band it down until it dries. It'll have it so that it's got a little bit of a cup shape to it. If you want to have more of a cup shape to it than that, you can definitely find something that's smaller to do that with. Now also, when you get it wet like that and you dry it out, it hardens the leather, and if you want to make it go back to regular, you just basically twist it a bunch, not like over and over, you just twist it back and forth, and it'll loosen it up again. Don't do it too much though, because the leather will eventually stress and break. Alright, so let's get traveling on to get myself another banana. Also, I got to try to get a hold of Gary. We did get a lot of the trash taken care of up there at camp. Like I said, it was seven different camps worth of shit. So I mean, there was a lot up there. I was trying to make trips down with my stuff as well as with the garbage, and there was a couple of times where I brought pretty important bags of garbage down, and they might have had some important phone numbers that I threw away. There's also a couple of times where I brought down all the bottles, and here's my idea behind the bottles. The reason that I keep leaving the bottles up there and the cans up there, they're in a bag, you know. I mean, it's not like they're not bagged up. Anybody can have the whole thing of cans, the whole thing of bottles. They can have them if they end up there and they find the bags, it's all theirs. It's not like not like I hid them. Now I have a stuttering problem, which the more tired I am, the more it becomes an issue. The more stressed I am, the more it becomes an issue. Obviously, I've been recording a lot more, and that does tend to be something I'm going to do when I have people harassing me repeatedly and assaulting me repeatedly and just going out of their way to do it again and again. Jacob Pruitt type, do you go hunting or fishing any? No, I don't. I'm not very good at fishing at all. I have the stuff in my emergency kit for just in case. But I mean, I like fish and I can cook fish. I'm not much of a fisherman. Plus, my back is screwed up. So if it's easier to get my food by buying it at the store, I'd rather do it that way. We're getting canned goods at the, what do you call it? The food bank. If they've got a pull tab, that's best for me. I do have a paint can thing that I was thinking about using because some of them tabs are a little bit difficult to get up, but a screwdriver works just as good. Like I said, I got nerve damage in my right hand. I can pull the tab with my left hand. I just use my right wrist and my right thumb, and I hold the can against my body, and then I pull on the tab with my other hand. As far as hunting, I used to. I never went hunting for deer or anything like that. I hunted for rabbits when I was super, super, super hungry. I was buying a house, supposed to be buying a house from a couple of folks named Sammy and Shelly Gatewood. And while I lived there, there was a lady named Lana Ingline, and I didn't want to buy the house. I really did want a house, but I didn't have an income, and it was Chapel, Nebraska, so I wasn't likely to be able to get a job local. If I did, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull. I think it was $200 a month is what it was. And Lana Ingline and Amanda Ingline promised me that they would send me $45 a month for food at least. Now, it didn't start off as $45. They were going to send me $100 a month for food because it was an animal rescue. It was called Gamma, Give 'em a Home. And I did end up having some health issues there, which really sucked. Jacob Pruitt typed, have a good night, or have a nice night. All right, Jacob. Anyway, this time of night, usually around 10 is when them youngins come out and fuck around, and I'm not the only one who's noticed it. So that's about 30 minutes ago. Let's hope it doesn't end up happening. Let's hope they're done with it. Some of the youngins that did some pretty one of them who did some pretty fucked up shit to me a while ago. He has come by and talked to me a few times like a person. I think he does understand why there's a comfort issue there. And it's not with the things that he did that night. It's more with the fact that he's not an adult. It's pretty significant to me, but it might not be to him. That's one of the things I had to deal with Brianna Hernandez Cordona. Like, she had a crush on me when she was 15, and she just wouldn't let that shit go. She kept coming around. It eventually got to the point where I had to yell at her, like, loud. Hey, you're not an adult. You need to go away and leave me alone. I am a grown-ass adult. I could get in trouble just because of what people assume. So please respect my boundaries. Now, I had to yell that at her because saying it to her didn't work. And I had to... Well, alright, when she was 15, I didn't yell at her. When she was 16, I fucking yelled at her, though. I was like, this has been a whole year of this. Okay, people come up and harass me all the time. Like, hey, man, what's that little girl coming up and talking to you for? Well, what do you think she comes up and talks to me for? Maybe you should come up next to me next time she talks to me and listen to the things coming out of her mouth. Listen to the things coming out of mine. I'm begging her to leave me alone, please. She was wanting to be in a relationship with me and do this whole, and I promise we'll make it work. We'll make it work. No, we won't. We're not going to have a relationship. We're not ever going to be boyfriend and girlfriend. When she was 17, Stephen McMillian headbutted her. That wasn't cool. But then he thought I should take his side. I'm like, no, dude, you fucking headbutted her. She didn't ask to be headbutted. Yeah, I get that she was there to fucking harass me, and I get that she'd been stalking me, but dude, you fucking headbutted a 17-year-old girl. He's like, yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm like, yeah. He thought he was gonna get arrested, though. He thought he was gonna go to prison for assaulting a minor. He didn't, though. I guess she never actually went to the cops. Of course, at that point in time, Mobley was sick of it. Christine Buhit was sick of it. Pretty much everyone was like, dude, Sean, like, I hate to say it, but we might have to call the cops on her. Like, she's not gonna get the point. If Stephen McMillian fucking headbutted her and she's still coming around thinking she's in love with you, like, you're fucked, dude. She is never, ever gonna leave you alone. And then, of course, you get all the jokers that think every goddamn thing is funny. Hey, man, you know what they say? If you want to make sure nobody ever fucks with you, just marry your stalker. Hey, man, you know what? If you want somebody who's going to stick with you thick and thin no matter what, just marry your stalker. Like, fuck, dude, y'all are gross. Shit ain't funny. Of course, you get to hear me. I'm a fucking big-mouthed individual and not exactly nice about it. Don't fuck with kids. Don't fuck with disabled people. Reality is, you shouldn't be fucking with anybody. Alright, so somebody's weird. The guy next door likes to wear dresses. So what? Or the woman next door has a wife. So what? Guy across the street has 11 kids and you think that's weird. The guy next to him doesn't have any kids. You think that's weird too. Or you have one of the school in-service days and you and your friends find a bunch of firecrackers. You're lighting them off in the street. You see an old man staring out the window and you're like, man, what the fuck is that old creeper doing staring out the window at us? Of course, that old man is sitting there minding his business, reading his fucking books. Survived a couple of wars. And then all of a sudden he hears explosions go off outside and it ain't 4th of July. He's looking out the window. Anyway, you know, in time I have to encounter a situation with certain fellers. I'm turning on my recording device. I'm gonna go in and use the bathroom and get myself another banana. They're good. There's some bread in here somewhere and I haven't been able to find it. I might get some Louis budding turkey instead. And just eat it straight. The only problem is it's salty as shit. Well, apparently some youngins. Oh, there's Kyran. He's wearing a pink shirt. Some girl was just yelling at me, "Hi, Daddy." I don't have any kids. So hopefully they don't want to mess with me. I don't know who the blonde girl is that yelled that at me, but that's definitely Kyran driving that vehicle. Oh. I just ignore them, go about my merry little way. I was told to park there because that's where the cameras are going to best able to see it, so anybody fucks with it. Oh, yes, it's warm. Oh my God, it's warm. It is warm. It's cold out there. I'm going to keep that to myself. Would you rather forget the potty pass?
Oh, yeah. It is 00865.
Thanks, Dan. Anyway, they don't mess with my vehicle. Kyran was actually pretty cool until the whole situation in the parking lot for the most part. Since then, he hasn't talked to me. I'm not real happy with the fact that he lied to me about his age. but I don't hate them. Not even a little bit. I don't hate any of them. I just hate a lot of the stuff they've been doing. No, I didn't want to go pointing my camera at those young ladies, but the fact that they yelled at me, "Hey, Daddy," well, it's still better than the N-word. Also, it's a different car than last time, so I don't know for certain if it's the same models. And I didn't get up close enough to see if it was. Oh God, I love liverwurst. Man, you got this, buddy. It's good enough. I was gonna get a banana because they're grub, but I had one. I'll be able to get one in the morning. I'll probably get one. I'm not like these folks to be able to go to sleep tonight too.
Welcome. Your club card, please scan out. Your card has been accepted. How many store your total is? Please insert coins, then insert bill.
Yeah.
Please wait. System processing. Please remember to take the receipt and all. Thank you.
And I'm over here
Well,
doing corn
if you have your club card, please scan it now. Scan items one at a time, placing them in the bag.
I love that
area
stuff.
after each
I
scan.
wrap it in cheese and stuff.
Yeah, I told myself, all right, I can either buy a banana and save some for a banana tomorrow, or I can panhandle tomorrow.
Son,
which
if you're
I have
hungry,
to
grab
anyway,
some fruit.
and I'll get some more. I already got turkey,
Okay.
and I have enough for fruit in the morning, which is when I'm really going to be craving. Smarter than the average bear, I think. Oh my God, if everybody in the store called me that, I would be so sappy. Yes, ma'am. Open sesame. Well, although Kyran doesn't really have a history of doing mean shit to me, so far as I'm aware, he could have been one of the people in one of those vehicles. I'm not going to say if he was or wasn't, because I don't know. I am going to go in. I was told that they have people here 24/7 at the store, even though they're closed part of the day. So I'm going to ask permission to stay the night. I only got like 8 minutes to do that in, though. Also, as I was walking across the road, there's a lady with dark hair, and she didn't slow down as I was crossing the road, but I made her cross adequately, and I nodded at her for at least letting me cross, and she flicked me off. So just hoping there's no issues. Oh, 57910. That was Kyran's vehicle, and he did yell the N-word. Bye-bye. That's for sure. Immediately yelled, "Hey, Daddy," at me. They were parked right next to Kyran Rhodes. You noticed they weren't real loud about it that time. Well, I did get permission. Of course, I have permission anyway, but I was just wanting to make sure. Obviously, I can't move in the parking lot, but also I do have permission if there's a safety issue, and man, this stuff's a bunch of bullshit. Kyran Rhodes probably should have thought about that before pulling this BS, though. Oh, there's a tobacco stick. Holy shit, it is colder than a cast iron commode on the shady side of an iceberg. Oh. See if there's any decent snipes. No. None tonight. guess I ain't that lucky. It's okay though. John gave me some tobacco earlier today. I got some rolling tobacco, or some rolling papers. Fucking A. I'm gonna have to dig my blanket out. I tried to somewhat set it out today because it was slightly sunny for a little bit, but it's probably still pretty at least damp. No tobacco's there either. Oh well. Fucking A, it's cold. Oh. Well, they're aware of what's going on, and there's about to be 12 to 15 employees. Since the place just closed down, there'll be about 12 to 15 employees coming out. So I can turn off the video for a few minutes, hopefully. It was worth 99 cents. Alright, my battery's down to 15%, so let's make sure we remedy that. I suppose probably get back to talking about a med kit. There's actually a book on how to do all sorts of medical stuff with tampons and pads, which is, well, you might think it's odd, but people come up with all sorts of stuff.